I'm Genevieve Bargello.
And I'm Eileen Rose.
And this is CFB News.
Today marks the 15-year anniversary of Dylan Noir's disappearance. We have more information about this artist who was known for drawing light switches, which you can see these paintings in the public museum. But after her mysterious disappearance, there were paintings found of just matches. A lot of people think that there is a deeper mystery to solve here. Perhaps information, money, riches, glory. We have more to say about this segment, however, we are now cutting off our news, as it is Crispy Fest today. Genevieve, would you like to talk a little bit more about that?
Yes, today marks the day of Crispy Fest, the favorite of all Clatfartburgians. Now, you may be thinking, why aren't you covering the event, Genevieve and Eileen? Well, last year, there was quite an accident where the crispy balloon that was sent up into the sky was actually ripped to shreds by the CFB News helicopter, and because of that, we were asked not to come back this year. Hopefully, in the future, we'll be making our return to Crispy Fest, but for now, we're enjoying a nice day off, and I'm going to the beach.
I will be heading over to the food stands and eating so much food, it's obscene. Because for once, I will not be filmed while doing it. Very exciting.
This has been CFB
News.
Oh, welcome. It's Crispy Fest again. Now, you may be saying, Felicia and Elaine, why are there 2 episodes on the feed today? Now, Elaine was like, let's do a little recap of the episodes. It'll take like 15 minutes. It'll be no big deal. We'll put it in right before the episode. New listeners can catch up. And as we went on, it became increasingly apparent that was an extremely underestimation of the amount of time it would take us to recap the lore of an entire year of this podcast.
Yeah, because you go like 27 episodes. You're like, okay, that's like
not that many.
One beat, whatever. And then like we were like still, it was like, what, 20 minutes in, we're on episode 3 or something crazy. It was like
well,
oops.
Whoopsies. So that was a full hour recording, and we were like, well, let's split it up, because we want new listeners to have that option to be able to recap. Or maybe if this year you've forgotten, because it's been a long year, just everywhere, because years are long. So, we spent an hour kind of reveling in the juices of the show, so it feels like the perfect time to come back to Crispy Fest.
We asked you guys on Instagram some questions. Like, what were your favorite episodes, favorite characters, couples, all that stuff. And we're going to use that to kind of guide us through Crispy Fest, through their lens, and enjoy the celebration of our favorite talking bass. But hey, welcome. My name's Elaine.
And my name's Felicia. It's been a year. So now we can't really say we're now entering Clatfartburg, because we've been in Clatfartburg for quite a long time.
We are going to update the name of this podcast to... We've actually been here for quite some time, Clatfartburg. And it'll be so easy to find. But this is a comedy podcast expanding upon the fictional town of Clatfartburg. And every year they celebrate Crispy, the talking bass. So we've got some ideas, and we're now going to, as Felicia said, let that juice flow to you. Welcome to the juice bar. It's got fish in it. Okay, actually, we're going to start with, I think let's go over the theme of this year's fest, and then we'll get into who we're going to follow. So, Crispy Fest 2025, we are so excited to announce it's themed Carnival.
Crispy's Carnival, everybody? Crispy's Carnival Fest?
Crispy's Carnival coconuts?
No.
Are probably there.
We can't do this again.
No more coconuts.
Don't do this again.
We can't do it again. We can't get stuck on a name. It's Carnival. There's carnivals. And you know what I enjoy about a carnival? Cotton candy. I enjoy a fried dough. What do you call that? Funnel cake. Jesus Christ. I eat it. I don't think about it.
Your energy is different now that we've already been recording for an hour. You're like drunk, high off your own supply.
Woo. I just had some Java cakes as well.
Mm-hmm.
Jaffa cakes, no Java. I don't drink caffeine. Anyway.
And I speed ate a PB&J, so we're really emotionally and physically prepped for this.
It's gonna be one of those episodes. Okay, anyway, Carnival. So first off, I imagine Crispy is wearing what Dick Van Dyke was wearing in Mary Poppins when they're in the animated land. It's a red striped suit. What do you think?
Yes. Well, I was starting to picture him with the big stick in the movie. Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. I don't remember what the song was. Do you remember these? They were with the big stick.
Yes,
but I do prefer the Mary Poppins thing, and that is exactly what he's wearing.
Perfect. He's got the little hat, little red and white striped hat. He's got a little cane too, and maybe he's like tap dancing.
Now, how does he do that without feet?
Oh, you just always want to crush his dreams, don't you, Felicia? You're just always here to bring him back to the plaque, you know? He just wants to swim.
He's a fish. I mean, even if he wasn't on a plaque, he wouldn't.
I want to be off this wall right now. I want to talk and tap dance. That's right. This year's Carnival had a musical written specifically for that event. And this is very exciting. And tickets were $7. Quite steep, wow. I will say, just to go.
Inflation.
Inflation. Yeah, usually they let you, I was going to say throw eggs at the people on stage, but that's horrible.
That's quite mean.
They don't do that. They just keep the eggs where they are, right in the chicken's anus, because that's where they come from.
Cloaca, but...
So they're actually one of the carnival games.
Oh, no.
Can you name the anatomy of this chicken?
I like that. I like that it's just a quiz. I like that it's just a test.
It's just a quiz, and each time you get it right, the egg starts at the top of the head, at the doodle on top. What is that called?
I don't know that one.
Oh, but you know the cloaca.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, the little doodle at the top, it starts there.
I think it's
this
Cox. Like COX. Wait, no, I'm going back.
We now need to look up the anatomy of a chicken. I know there's a
What's
breast,
the thing on
a
top?
thigh.
A comb. Okay, that was pretty
comb,
close.
That's right. Oh, that's so embarrassing. I just put Sussex chickens in my zoo this morning.
And you didn't know what a cloaca was. All right.
Look, it's hard to find it, okay?
Okay, we need to stop talking about chicken anatomy. We're here. This is like our
really
1 year anniversary, and we're talking about chicken anuses.
Anyway, the egg follows through, and as you get the questions right, the goal is that the egg comes out, and then you win a prize, which can be a cute little chicken animal, stuffed animal, whatever vibe. Mm-hmm. So that's right. This is one of those kind of carnivals. It's going to be interesting. Do you have any carnival have you been to a carnival also? I'm just curious.
Been a while. But not like a real carnival. Like, I mean, community fun fairs, I feel like, are the carnivals of today. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I don't play any carnival games because I refuse to spend money and I'm a real cheapskate. So, not for me.
Same.
Yeah.
No, that's how I feel too. It's like, I'd love it if it was like truly one price.
Yeah.
And then you could just go do whatever you want. But yeah,
I do not have enough hand-eye dexterity to compete in those games.
Same like the basketball games, not happening. Yeah. I tend to throw it outside of the entire
The only one that really gets me,
game.
you know, those ones where it's like you have to climb up a little bridge and it'll flip over on you. In my head, I'm always like, I bet I could do that, even though I know I couldn't.
No, I don't know.
I don't know how to describe it, but it's like a little thing you have to climb up and like not fall off. But they have it in a way where it's like almost impossible not to do it. But everybody sees it and they're like, I could do that.
I kind of love that and would love to incorporate that into Crispy Fest.
Yeah. Like just Carnival. What if they did a full obstacle course?
Oh, hell yeah. Like a whole wipeout section.
A whole wipeout section.
And maybe it goes through like the history of Clatfartburg.
Yeah.
Right? So one of the things coming towards you is a cow to represent the cow army. Yeah. And it like can smack you. You have to jump over it. There's the great old stick.
Yeah. You have to climb up the great old stick.
And then it catches on fake fire. Which is just some slime that comes at you because a hot sausage comes towards it. Yeah. All this stuff, and that eats up a whole like hour.
Do you think there's a catch the hot sausage game?
Yes. Ooh, that's fun.
There's a fake the big stick. There's multiple big stick sausage fire recreations at this event. There's a fake big stick, and then they throw a sausage at you, and you have to try to grab it so it doesn't catch on fire. And it is hot. It's not so hot that it'll burn you, but it's a little hot.
Do you get to wear little like mittens, or is it just you're just barehanding it?
Well, it's you're barehanding it because it's like, can you not drop it?
Oh yeah, but the great. This is so great. You mentioned this though because it just so happens that on the back of this game,
sorry, you can buy a T-shirt that says Crispy that says "Stop sausage fires." Only you can stop sausage fires. So what happens if you win?
We say a lot of shit. And look, I'm gonna say it. Shout out to the listeners on Tumblr. We appreciate you, and you're doing the good work. I really want that to be a T-shirt.
I also would like that to be a T-shirt.
I would wear that around town, and I would bear people asking me, "What does that mean?"
Yeah.
I'll go, that's none of my business. That's what I would say, and I'd walk away. But on the other side of this game, Felicia, that's so crazy because, like, for $1.50, you can get 2 sausages in a nice little basket to eat.
Because it's a food truck.
It's a food truck. So what happens is that the sausages get pre-thrown, and once they're done, they take them around back, cook them up. There you go, party food. Used sausage. So you can actually, for $5, you can get new sausage, but for $1.50, you can get the pre-used sausage special.
I hate that. I hate that so much. But yeah, that's true.
Oh man, this is like for the people who've had their 5 beers and they're like, I just gonna get myself a pre-used sausage. Yeah, but yeah, of course we've got the food trucks back.
Yeah, no fish trucks this year. I think we've fixed that problem.
Yeah, no fish trucks. Now we have to address a problem.
What?
A situation. The pipes in the ground. Now we're on the same grounds.
Yeah,
now what has happened with the pipes? Because last year,
doesn't Feast and Hay live in the pipes?
He does.
So
not only he
Feast and
still
Hay
does, but
Richington
he
lives in the pipes because he couldn't find an apartment that met his standards. So he said, "Fuck it, I'll live in the pipes." He has the money. He's just really picky, and he would rather live in pipes than in like an unideal floor plan. I think he might have moved out by now. I'm getting the vibe. I feel like
maybe the plumbing company came back.
Yeah,
and they evicted him.
Maybe they turned it into a fountain.
Oh,
the most complicated fountain underground you've ever seen.
Yeah, I imagine it's certainly a death trap. They have to have a cage around that. If you fall in there, yeah.
Ooh. But maybe that's what they've done with it, because I know last year people were using it as a trash can and they were like, let's not do that.
Yeah, they were like, oh, kids can climb in here, but oh no. Yeah, maybe, okay, I like this. Maybe it is because last time I think it was just like, oh, here's fun pipes to interact with. This year it's like truly showing you this is what happens when your pipes get clogged.
Yes.
This is what happens. This is how we fix it. And so it's this little ongoing thing where the fountain like bubbles lower and they're like, oh no, we have to go fix it. And then this like little, maybe they borrowed an animatronic plunger or something, goes do, 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 and then the water shoots out.
Wow, that's so
and it does that on loop, you know. Okay, good. We needed to figure that out because like, you know, what's the plumbing company going to do?
Scene, you know?
Yeah. Okay. Anything else speaking to you before we dive into, like, who the listeners are feeling as we want to follow on this journey? I feel like carnivals, again, a lot of fried food. I feel like, what's the vibe this year? I think people are pretty freaked out from last year.
Yeah.
I don't think last year went well.
I do think this is a good Crispy Fest. I don't think this is a nightmare like last year's was. I think this is actually pretty good. I'm going to say it. I think they're having a good time at this Crispy Fest.
I think one thing I'd like to throw out is that there is like an orange and yellow spiraling tall goofy clock.
Okay.
In the middle, because I think Tori Cobbleton is like, I'm mayor and this is why I wanted to be mayor, so I can make a clock for every occasion in this goddamn town.
Yeah.
So there is a clock, but it's a giant slide. So you go up to the top. And you go, woohoo! And it says, have the time of your life. Now, it is notable, Tori is terrified of slides. She's never been on one. She just designed the clock and asked other people to make it. But I feel like she's getting a lot of pressure to get on the slide. But as of now, that's not happening.
Yeah. Mrs. Parsnip is hosting a magic show. She's having a great time.
Oh my gosh, I bet.
Yeah.
Is Petra the Potato Cat, like, what's their little shtick?
I don't know.
Government's silly. It doesn't really mean anything. Petra the Potato Cat is a comrade.
Whoa. Whoa. I think Petra the Potato Cat, I don't know. I don't feel like we'd established I don't know if Petra the Potato Cat talks. I'm not sure. They're a puppet.
I think if a puppet, I would think I think there's some talking.
I would assume there's some talking.
Right.
But I don't know. I think
maybe she's changed her game. Maybe she's like,
I don't think she's a good magician. I think she's just kind of moving Petra Potato Cat around behind objects and being like, wow, how'd she get there?
I mean, if your audience is children who have object permanence issue, like that's not clicked in yet. I mean, she's been
exploiting that for years.
Yeah. Maybe she's doing the magic shows, and then like she's also kind of like baby daycare in a sense. Is that like maybe adults go off, but then there is like a later evening show she does that definitely the adults are like, oh, this will be fun, and they're like, why am I sitting through this?
Yeah,
it's just like really awkward silence.
It's just the same
for everybody.
She did not adapt to the audiences at all.
No, and why should she?
She said "damn" once, and that was all she did.
I can't even imagine hearing her cuss.
Yeah,
to any extent.
It was bad.
It was just about beavers, though. You know, nothing.
Yeah,
nothing too wild. Well, let me go into our Instagram and I will pull forth those who have spoken.
The things on the crispy conjecture tree of our lives.
Okay, so really quick before we get into this, we didn't do it in the previous same day episode, the recap, because again, we didn't think that was going to be its own separate thing. So I'll just fit it in here. We had just asked you guys, what were your favorite episodes and plot lines of the podcast so far? A lot of people were saying Hunch for Lunch and Kermit Hastings.
Wow.
Beautification episode was amazing too. Thing in the Woods came up a lot as well. A specific shout out to the interactive mail exhibit at the museum. It's always stuck with me. Crispy Leaf Harvest. I can't pick between the cuteness of Trout Scouts or the chaos of New Smythe. The SS Clatfartburg River Tour. The Gay Hardy Boys Have My Heart. Oh my god. And also the Sausage Gang. The Mystery Meat Gang. And then, more Kermit. So a lot of I know. I was like, oh, hey, a good smattering.
Yeah.
But the people were really feeling Kermit and spooky things in the woods. Okay, so I feel like, honestly, I think we should follow Kermit.
Yes.
And then for favorite characters, we kind of got a smattering. I think some of the answers were, we got a lot of Barnacle Crispin.
All right, so maybe
a lot of Barnacle Crispin. So he might be here. Got a lot of Eileen and Genevieve. Maybe they'll make a tiny appearance.
Eileen eating all her food, as she said.
Yes,
she would.
which, look, she's going for that $1.50.
Oh, yeah, she's not above it.
Clatfartburg native.
I will say Genevieve is absolutely fucked off to the beach. I would love to have her here, but to be in character, there is no way she's not going to this if she's not being paid.
Absolutely.
She's like 6 hours away. She's fucking gone. She's out of here. And good for her. She deserves a break. She was like, if there is an emergency again, I will not be called back. She's making herself unavailable for an emergency.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what hard-hitting news is really going to be worth her time? No. Honestly, if it happened, she's like, you know what? Eileen can take that. I've got a life. Okay, so it'll be Eileen floating around eating food. Trout Scout Troop, which they were there last year, so I think it's fair they can pop up as well. Maybe they're running one of the games. And then someone did go, legendary Flippini won me over with his cartwheels.
Wow.
So maybe he's just there with his little pizza.
Well, I think he's there with his traveling pizza. He's a traveling pizza salesman, so he's selling some pizza.
Yeah. So we got Kermit and Barnacle, honestly, were probably the top ones that came out of that. So B-plot can be Trout Scouts and Eileen. Okay, so to quickly, again, before we go through this, just some other stuff we had asked. What's your favorite place in town? I want to say a Hunch for Lunch, but realistically, I would spend all my time in the library. A lot of people want to go to the museum. Hunch for Lunch came up a ton. One person said Frog Ferry. They wanted to go on the Fickle Grubber Frog Ferry, which it's busted, but sure.
Have fun.
The public library, the Thing in the Woods. But a Hunch for Lunch really took it, I think. But, all the places I enjoyed too. I asked people, what do you want to know about Clatfartburg? Thinking this could be a fun time to source episode ideas and stuff. And the first thing we got is, what is the town's general opinion on the TV show Lost?
Wow. Never thought about that.
I've never seen it, but I do like the idea that Clatfartburg would have a unanimous opinion, which could try. Maybe they used to watch Lost in the park.
Maybe they all fell off it, but not the time other people started falling off of it. Like on a weird thing that happened mid-show. And I don't know enough about Lost to know what it is, but they're like, but then that happened. That's where it lost you. And everyone else is like, that's where it lost you? And they're like, yeah.
It's like, it's still like, it could have been part of like key story building. And they were just like, no.
Yeah.
This isn't it. What's their community theater program like?
We're getting that.
Does Clatfartburg have a time capsule? I feel like the archaeology kind of did that.
Yeah,
but
we might come back.
I think that could be goofy. Has anyone been able to put a stop to the fracking once and for all?
I think so. I think that's happened now. Yeah.
Yeah. I think we're clear. And again, not to gatekeep, but we have a bonus episode where Botticini Barge uses Henry Piston for a documentary, and they take him down. Yeah. So no worries, that is settled. How would Clatfartburg handle a natural disaster? For instance, the lake flooding. I love the idea of the lake flooding because I don't imagine it's a huge lake, so I think it would be more of a nuisance than everything. But I do like the idea that they're like, it's the lake flooding. It hasn't flooded in 30 years, and it's really just like,
it's like when the South gets snow and it's like an inch and everyone freaks out.
Oh my god, people lose their fucking minds. Yeah, I think it would be goofy. Favorite couple. Oh, actually, before I do favorite couple, I made a scale of evil to good and asked people, where do you think Crispy falls on this? Because Is Crispy evil? Is Crispy
If
good?
I would vote, he's on full good to me. I love Crispy. If I have a favorite character, it's actually Crispy. I love him so much.
I love Crispy too. He
What?
That's good. That's evil.
Okay.
He's like he's like
I thought he was more towards evil.
Good.
Because if it was 3/4 towards evil, I was like, we need to have a serious discussion with the listeners because they've been misunderstanding our project.
We need to have a timeout session. We're making a 3rd episode this week.
Crispy is good. Stop.
Fuss at you.
That's fine. He
but
is
then, like,
very
have we drinking the
corporate.
Kool-Aid too much?
He is like very like
Yes.
he's a little oppressive, so I get it.
No one made him full evil.
That
the
makes me
most
feel
evil
better.
we got was just like a quarter. But most people like were like middle.
That makes me feel better.
Yeah. So don't worry, it was a mixture. Most likely, who would be the best pet? I had offered up Henry Pissdog, Sea Naster, Binky the Shrimp, and the Blanche Otters. Blanche Otters won.
I would suspect.
Tied were Henry Pissdog and Sea Naster, and last but not least is Binky the Shrimp. Probably because you didn't listen to the Christmas episode, did you? And that's okay. It was Christmas. It came out on Christmas, so that's really fine. That was really intense. Okay, favorite couple. This vote was tight, 53% to 47%. I offered out 4 couples. Okay, I offered out Lamarck Rouge.
I like that there was really 2 in the competition. You know,
Truly, I threw out Bertha and Barnacle just to keep
they
things
might have
spicy.
gotten a vote from me. They would not have.
I was like, I could see them getting 1 vote.
Yeah,
but they didn't. Then we had Colin Dale and Nancy and the Blacksmith
I'm thinking Cole and Dale won. Did they win?
by 1 vote.
Wow.
A win for the gays. Cole and Dale take it home. The gay Hardy Boys, the one mystery they have cracked.
I bet they're kissing
Love.
out there somewhere right now.
Yes, that's and we're clapping for them while they do it. But yeah, Nancy and the Blacksmith got second. So a good round. Oh, and just for giggles, because I always think this is the most hilarious question to ask is, where did listeners come from? How did they find us?
Are they all Wonka Watch?
Forever just wondering, is someone going to go, I just randomly found you? You know? Let's see. Well, Wonka Watch, of course, had to keep supporting my favorite podcasters.
This will probably be
Wonka
cut,
Watch.
Yeah.
The podcast, which must not be named. I fought on the front lines in the Wonka Wars. Straight out of the well. Wonka came out, and I've been a listener ever since, listening to Wonka Watch. So
Glad to know you guys are still here riding.
much appreciated. Okay, so Kermit Hastings has arrived to Crispy's Carnival Fest. And I think maybe there was someone at the hotel,
Yes.
an older lady perhaps, who needed assistance to get here because she really wanted to get here.
Mm-hmm.
And she needed a ride. He was going over. The shuttle bus was already full. And she had like, I don't know, maybe some watercolors or something. She's just floating around, but she's a sweet old lady.
She wants to do plein air painting at the Crispy Fest, which might be tricky to do, but she wants to do it. She wants to sit up and sit down. And
What's plein air painting?
It's when you just paint outside. It's just a really fancy name for it.
Oh, nice. Okay, yeah. I mean, there's a lot to... I would love for her to have her back on the entire carnival and she's just looking out of the street.
That's incredible.
She's like, I specifically drove out here to come to the Crispy Fest. She's like, do you want to face like the clock tower? She's like, keep going this way. Keep going this way. He's like, that's just the sun and the woods. She's like, perfect. Can you pick me up a sausage while you're out? So she's just off painting. And maybe Kermit, you know what? He's still finding his way. Like, you can have a really big moment and figure out yourself,
yeah.
but you still have to keep expanding that comfort zone. So I feel
Exactly.
like Kermit, he's so used to hosting his own events at the Widgeon. Maybe he doesn't actually get to attend a lot of events, but he's finally like taking care of himself. And he said, I need to explore this town and get to know it. I haven't been to Crispy Fest in ages.
Mm-hmm.
I heard last year was a riot. Why wasn't I there? So he's decided he's going to Crispy Fest this year. And look, he didn't know it was themed carnival. Okay.
Yeah.
He didn't know that. And Kermit has, I feel like, maybe not a great relationship with carnivals. I feel like maybe as a child, he went to one. And, I think that sometimes carnivals can be overwhelming. I mean, clowns, there's a percentage chance that a clown could appear.
High clown percentage.
It's not 0. So I think he's thrown off. He's thrown off his groove a bit.
Yes.
He's still confident. He's still Kermit, but he's a little wigged out. But he's like not been to this thing in years.
No.
So he's just seeing it for the first time. I think.
Yeah, he picks her up some nicer hot dogs, some sausages, and then... Well, actually, at first, he doesn't realize there's a food truck, so he thinks he needs to catch her sausages from the sausage game. So he's like, oh my god, I'm not going to get this for this woman. And then they're like, he finishes the game and he doesn't catch any, and he's like breathing really heavy because he's exhausted. And they're like, now if you enjoyed it, here's a 10% coupon off the sausages on the other side. And he's like, oh, that's what she meant. She meant that, not what I just did. Maybe he keeps doing carnival games because this old woman keeps requesting things of him that he thinks he needs to do carnival games to complete.
Oh, I like that. It's like he accidentally goes on a quest.
Yeah.
And she's the video game character being like, and now, before I can grant you this, I need a broom and 1 window pane. It's like, what?
She's like, could I get a refill of water? Here, fill up this cup. And he can't find a place to fill it up, so he goes to that squirty game where you squirt it in the clown's mouth, and he's just like,
oh my god,
trying to fill up this cup of water for her. Nothing but quality customer service from Mr. Kermit Hastings.
Oh, of course. Even when not on the widgeon, one is on the fly as a widgeon. He goes back and she goes, it's a real shame. I forgot to bring my red paints. Do you think you could go procure me some? And he's like, yep, you bet. Now, okay, you're at a carnival. Paint. I'm thinking, I don't know if there's a clown here. I'm kind of scared to discuss it, but maybe he goes to the theater production that's happening of the parody, the musical of Crispy.
Yeah.
Wanting to be a tap dancer. There we go. I already forgot what happened 15 minutes ago. So I think he goes over there to see if he can borrow it, and they end up being like, we actually need someone to make the sound effects for the tap dancing because we don't have tap shoes. And so they give him like what would be a stupid thing?
Lipstick? Wait, what? Oh, to make
oh,
noise.
yes, sorry. In my head, I was like, what's a weird thing to do the Foley work for tap dancing? I was like, lipstick? Like, but I like it. Oh, they give him lipstick. Oh, this
for
is
the
good.
red
okay,
paint.
So he gets the red.
That's, yeah, okay.
Yes, that's good.
So he has to make noise for them first, which he does do. And they say, we don't have any implements for you. So then he goes to another game and gets some balls that you're supposed to throw in cups. And he says, can I have these? So he's just banging 2 ping pong balls together to make the tap noises.
Oh my god. And it's horrible, but it's perfect. So he's just like doing that for a hot second.
Yeah.
So we can back in on him.
I think Barnacle Crispin and Bertha Lacuscus are prepping. They have the 11 p.m. slot on the main stage because they have been booked in. It's a carnival theme. You must have a mime. And I think a pole dancing diver helmet wearing man is perfect for a carnival theme. I'm going to say it. They're not going to call it the freak show because they're going to be politically correct, but this is the freak show.
And they've never, as far as we know, have performed together.
Yes.
This is really a big step.
It's a lot.
In relationship.
It's a lot in their relationship, and they're really working together. But right now, Barnacle Crispin is in his normal, everyday mood, just looking like, I think we said his main casting is Mike Faced of Challengers, which I just need everyone to know. Because it's so funny that that's who it is. Because he's just weirdly young for some reason.
Oh my gosh! So he's out of suit.
Yes.
At this, is he undercover? Like people don't.
I don't think anybody knows who he is unless you're like really in the Factual Theater. You wouldn't know the links except for Cole and Dale.
So Bertha's not wearing her makeup either.
No,
she's not wearing her like mime face.
No,
they're just 2 normies trying to be normal. They're rom-com.
They just look like a normal suburban couple. It's just like so weird. Well, I mean, they do have a large age gap, which is part of their romance, but you know, besides that, a normal suburban couple.
That,
I think Cole and Dale are over there. I don't know why. I think they're both wearing matching sunglasses. It's not on purpose. They just both own the same pair of sunglasses. And Dale's like, oh my, or Cole's like, oh my god, that's Barnacle Crispin, because he's the only one that knows, and it's just a nice secret. And he's not going to blow his cover. Yeah. But he's always like, yeah, that's my old boss.
So weird. It's always weird to say that out and about. And especially without his scuba suit on. Weird. Maybe Cole's like, is he hot though? He's like, I can't engage with that. Yeah. I feel like there's some anxiety in the air for Dale. As always. I feel like he's just
Dale is an anxious individual.
But as we know, Dale and Cole, and maybe this is interesting. They're fine, guys. Don't worry. But I feel like there could be an ongoing tension of, are we on a date or are we on a mystery?
Yeah.
You know, because Dale won't let this go.
Yeah.
So I think,
this is a date, but Dale keeps looking for things that are a mystery. He sees something looks a little off with the fountain, and he's like, well, do you think Feast and Hay sabotaged it because they evicted him from the pipes he was illegally living in? And Cole's like, there's not something everywhere. You got to stop looking sometimes, man.
Yeah. It's like we're reaching like conspiracy theory at this point.
Yeah. And then he says to him, you know what? I just want you to take this day and not look for anything deeper and just play some carnival games. And Dale's like, you know what? I think you're right. I'm going to try and do that. So he starts playing a lot of carnival games. I feel like he's weirdly really good at one of them. I don't know which one, but there's one that he's great at.
What if he's like secretly like swimmer body ripped and he goes up to like hit the like the hammer bell and it goes all the way to the top?
Just immediately.
And a lot of people can't get it. But really okay, wait, hold on. For this one, what happened is they actually replaced the hammer for him. They think it's funny to do this sometimes. And so like this beefy burly guy just went up and like kind of got to the top, but not really. It was the blacksmith. And then Dale pops over there and he's like, oh boy, here we go. But they gave him like a really, maybe a heavy, whatever the hammer weight needs to be for this to magically happen.
Yeah.
With his own strength as well. Shoots to the top and everyone's like, what?
What's your secret? Well, it's all that oatmeal and cold water I eat. Really gives me the edge.
Oh God. Oh no. Oh no.
That's a reference to a bonus episode and my life. So
this is very unfortunate. I mean, I'm happy. I'm happy for you. Yeah. And I respect you.
Thank you.
Some might think I don't, but I do. I do respect you.
Yeah. I don't think they think you don't respect me. That was just an interesting comment you made.
Oh, that's weird. Yeah, I would never like, why would anyone think I don't respect you? I wouldn't like throw that out if like I thought anybody would think that. Like me? No.
We just turned into Genevieve and Eileen real quick. That was scary. Our shadow selves jumped out. What do you think the Trout Scouts are up to here? Because that's something I am curious about. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah. I think they're basically like, they've set up a little like, hey, get to know us booth to try to like bring people in to be like, hey, be a Trout Scout. I think though, if we're doing a carnival, I think that they've probably entered some kind of craft. They're working on it. I imagine they have fire. I'm going to say it. They have fire. Whatever happens with that will happen. Maybe they're trying to show people like, here's how you start a fire. And then this is how you can like cook popcorn on the fire. You know, maybe they're making kettle corn.
I like
That's a classic. They're making kettle corn. And, you know, people are, they're really, this is a good year for the Trout Scouts.
Yeah.
The charity hockey match where they were selling their tofu. No, it's not tofu. It's the other one. Tempeh. They're selling their tempeh. They've got new flavors. It's very exciting. They're cooking their tempeh over the fires and kettle corn, which is actually selling. I can't imagine like bland fire tempeh is really that good.
No.
Yeah. But it's a really big year. And also they're gearing up because this year is the Jamboree.
Woo!
And it's getting hosted in Clatfartburg. So they're trying to have a big presence, you know. It's exciting. Now, look, the Trout Scouts are mostly just, I think they are Clatfartburg, but there's like a Tri-Scout area or something. Yeah. There's something like that. So basically, this isn't like the odds that it would be in Clatfartburg, whatever.
It does come to Clatfartburg like every other year, but it hasn't happened last year.
And maybe they haven't been able to throw it for a while. Maybe there were like weather issues and like there wasn't enough troops to do it, but they've got the numbers this year. They're going to do the Jamboree. This involves all the secrets. Oh my God, wait, they go on a secret mission. The Silver Salamanders, which is the highest rank of Trout Scouts, go on their own mission in the woods. I remember this now. So maybe they'll actually get to do a ton of those this year. So they're really gearing up, and they have put out the promo. The promo is everywhere. I think that there's some child who's trying to do the tap dancing because you saw it on the play. He's trying to do it. Kathleen Worst is filming this to post later to humiliate this child. Kathleen's evil.
Yeah.
I think we can gather that. She's a little evil. She'll figure it out. Maybe. Some people stay evil. That's life.
Wow. Okay.
Crispy logo this year.
Yes. Well, we talked about it a little bit. But like.
Yes. So that's good. That's like the main one they have is good. You go to the Clatfartburg like merch store.
Yeah.
There's like one t-shirt with that on. So one kind of t-shirt with the good stuff. but there's always like really bad logos.
Looking at, maybe they had a competition of local youths to design a Crispy t-shirt for this year, and it's like Crispy is a robot, like completely unrelated,
Love it. Yeah. I imagine there's a Crispy that just has really giant lips in a very unsettling way. It's mostly lip, then fish. Yeah, maybe, you know what? It is the year of the Trout Scout. I think one of the Trout Scouts, she drew the Crispy logo, and I think she was really maybe inspired by what are things little girls like? Unicorns. Maybe Crispy is riding a unicorn and also eating her favorite food, which is loose mac and cheese. So in one,
and he has giant lips.
Now imagine this is all drawn by like an 8-year-old.
Yeah.
Big lips, unicorn, loose mac and cheese.
It's unique.
It's unique. And Crispy's pink. Okay, Crispy's pink.
Deal with it.
No one knows what a bass looks like. What color are they? They could be pink.
Who cares?
Who cares? It's a I was gonna say it's a woman's world.
Yeah.
I don't know what's happening. People are not thrilled about that. In fact, the family of the Trout Scout who did this have kind of like not fully gone in hiding, but they're not really showing their face. They're not going over to that side of the park. They're a little devastated that their spawn has created this. Mm-hmm. And they did offer like, hey, we can put like her name on it. And they're like, leave it anonymous. Leave it anonymous. Don't do that. Look, Cole instantly bought one. And so did Kermit. Kermit bought one.
Yeah.
And he thinks it's, he's like, it's not for me, but I really need to expand from these button downs. I need to let loose.
I need a pajama shirt. I sleep in button downs right now. I need something.
I need to breathe, Yeah. So they've sold a few. I would like to note that this year the water department has learned the lesson from last year when they were trying to sell water drinks. They were like, this is as clean as it gets. Look, it's so clean. But they were like selling basically stuff that looked like rust and lemonade. And it was like, this water looks horrible. They've learned their lesson. Now they're just doing Moscow mules. They're just like, oh, water's spicy. And they're doing just seltzers this year, which in a way defeats the purpose of promoting your water.
Yeah.
So have they failed? Probably. Nancy and Blacksmith are notably not here this year. They actually went on a vacation to the little lodge.
Yeah.
Far away.
He finished up his gate.
He took a break. And Nancy, at Carnival, she's like, oh, people are going to be messy. So her napkins are out there, don't worry. But she's like, she's afraid she's going to run into Lamarck Rouge.
Yeah. She needs a time away. Do you think this is where the proposal happens? Does this happen on their lake trip together?
Maybe. Okay, here's what I personally think.
Yeah.
As a side note from Crispy Fest. I think Nancy's thinking he's going to propose, and then he flubs it and just gets too nervous and doesn't.
That makes sense to me.
And that's going to be also another source of tension. But it's like, they're fine, don't worry. They're fine, guys, okay?
It's just a little dramatic right now. Legendary Flippini is here, guys, don't worry. Do we think he's running a pizza dough flipping game somehow?
Yes.
And it's like beat the Flippini, but like you literally can't beat the Flippini because he's the legendary Flippini, and every time he wins he does a cartwheel, and everyone's like, this guy's fucked. Like, can he just be like chill about it for a minute? And you don't even have to pay to play. He's just doing this for the love of the fucking game.
Oh, yeah, I love it. And I think even at one point, he's like, can you pin the pepperoni on the Flippini? And he does his cartwheels, and you try to, like, throw it at him, and if it hits him, you win. But he cartwheels away so fast and gracefully, nothing hits him.
Yeah.
Nothing
hits him.
It's
like Neo
him.
in The Matrix, but with cartwheels and pizza.
Basically.
His pizza senses allow him to slow time to avoid the pepperoni in the air.
Yeah, so people are kind of mad, but I mean, he's a legend. He's got great pizza, so people
Obviously
work through it. They're fine. Maybe Elisha Pankin is also like testing out his personal Pankin pizzas,
because Flippini's doing this. Maybe he's still a little bit in his intern role at this point in time, or assistant or apprentice. So he's maybe running the food truck that Legendary Flippini is operating out of currently.
He's like actually doing the food
service.
service.
He's actually doing the food service while Flippini's
just doing his little flips and stuff. Flippini, because, he grew up around carnivals.
And food
That's
trucks,
right.
yeah, so he's
we
in his
established this in
fucking
a bonus episode. He's in his element. And I think he might have a weird moment where he looks across the way and he's like, fuck, that's Uncle Gary.
Yeah.
oh my God, I haven't seen Uncle Gary in years, you know? And Uncle Gary is the man who, he has a beard braiding station and he will braid any beard. And sometimes when a little girl comes up, he's like, oh, I can braid your beard. She's like, I don't have a beard. He's like, what's that on top of your head? She's like, my hair. He's like, it's a beard. And it scares her.
That's fair. I think I'd be really intimidated. I'd be like,
I'd be like, I don't have a beard on my head. It's just my hair. Okay. Maybe I don't know if Flippini has a beard. I don't think so. No. I think he has a tasteful mustache. Absolutely. Maybe, potentially. So maybe he goes over and, you know, Uncle Gary's like, oh, well, beard. He's got,
he's
sorry,
really
I was busy eating.
I was eating the budget sausage. I was really drunk.
I'm eating the budget. I'm really drunk and I feel ill, but I can still braid your beard. I see you have a tiny lip beard. Maybe we can do some French braiding or a fishtail or something. I just need you to stop moving your face. You know, and Flippini, maybe he's like, I don't need you to braid my beard. Uncle Gary looks at him. Really looks at him this time. And he uses his carny senses to braid. He uses his beard senses to focus on the mustache. And he recognizes that facial hair. That's genetic. And he goes, are you Flippini?
Dave? Because his name is Dave?
Dave?
For some reason.
Dave?
No one's called me that name in years.
I don't know if you could see me over there cartwheeling, being a legend and famous and really good at my craft. Gary.
I'm legendary and I'm flipping. Also, this is crazy. In the Blacksmith episode, because I edited this recently, you talked about how when he refers to his my flippinis, that's how he calls his balls. How do we not make a my flippinus joke? I just wanted to put it out there.
Damn.
My flippinus.
My flippinus.
We don't ever to use it, but I was really listening to it and I was like, damn. That was like missing a wide open goal.
Right there. A wide opening.
So wide. Let's move on.
Gonna bit us in the face.
Let's move on.
Anyway, so that's a weird moment, and we're just gonna let him cook with that feeling. Let's circle back a little bit to Cole and Dale, and then we can put a little bow on this after that. Yeah. But Cole and Dale, they've had their whole day. Dale's trying to be really good. However, it's hard. Like, okay, someone bumps into him, and they accidentally spill some ice cream on his shoe. He knows in the Revolution they put lanterns outside of homes to signal stuff. Could this be a similar thing?
And he keeps seeing
why is everyone trying to signal to him?
Painting shit out in the field, and he's like, "Why is she looking away from the festival and having this guy deliver shit to her all the time?" It's a little weird, but he's not going to say anything to Cole because he made a promise that he wasn't gonna.
And he's trying to imagine, like, what would Cole say? Cole would probably say, "Well, she's an old woman who probably doesn't want to be around all this loud stuff." And why would you paint this? It's ugly.
Right.
You know, whatever. He's trying to rationalize it. He's getting freaked out, you know? So he's nervous. He's trying to do it, but he's really been out of it the whole day, you know? But they push through. They do kiss.
Of course.
I was trying to think, there's not a kissing booth. What?
Maybe they go down the slide, and at the top of the slide.
They go down the clock slide together. It's not supposed to hold two adults, but they make it work, and Cole does almost fall to his death, but don't worry. Dale catches him just in time, and they were like, we should not let two people down at once.
Like the little Mark Rouge people are standing being like, have you noticed the clock is a very phallic symbol in this?
Why is it always here? It's so interesting. It's so weird. I hear about Flippini, and I just call her Flippines. It's just there's a penis everywhere. Penis is everywhere.
Company has an obsession with the form of the
of the male figure.
It's really interesting.
It is the big stick. Are you kidding me? The big stick? The sausage? What?
There's really something going on here, and I think we could contact the professor at Oberlin to talk about it more.
Well, the sun is setting, and they're about to do the night show with Barnacle and Bertha.
Cole is demanded that they sit amongst the audience because you've got to go see that.
You have
He's
to.
like, I need to
Please.
see what this is, because he was like, sometimes Barnacle Crispin would be on the phone with Bertha, and their phone calls were dramatic, okay? So I need to know what is going on, which is interesting because the other end of the line was completely silent because she was a mime.
He knows what the different sounds of her, like, mime.
They do talk to each other, but they were both in costume at the time, which meant he was doing the voice and she was miming, and it was very
I
stressful.
feel like you never listen to me. I do care.
So they're getting ready. They're sitting in the audience. They're sharing a little box of kettle corn that they got from the Trout Scout station. Meanwhile, Kermit Hastings approaches the old woman he's been helping all day. She waves him down. He asks, hey, I've been thinking about taking the shuttle back. Do you want to hop on it with me? And she lowers her sunglasses. And she says, I have one more task for you. She pulls out the painting she's been working on all day. It's not the painting of what she's been looking at. It's something else. It looks like a very specific location. She says, I need you to deliver this to the gay Hardy Boys. She steps out of her chair and walks into the woods. And
Surprisingly fast.
Surprisingly fast, and Kermit calls after her, do you still need
But
the
doesn't go
shuttle
after
back? But she keeps walking. He says, well, I guess she's all good. Now here's the problem. Kermit Hastings does not know who the gay Hardy Boys are.
No.
And he doesn't know if he's allowed to say gay Hardy Boys. So he starts walking around. It's like, do you know about the Hardy Boys? There's two guys, and they're called the Hardy Boys, and there's two of them.
Great book series. It's a great
No,
book
but
series.
no, but I mean in the town. And then he starts saying, do you know the homosexual Hardy Boys? And then he thinks the Hardy might sound like he's looking for something illicit. So then he just starts saying, do you know the homosexual boys? And he realized that's worse. And he's just like, do you know the gays? Where are the gays? And
they're go to the theater. Try the theater. And shockingly, where are the gays?
At the theater. And he goes in and he's waving a paper in his hand. And he goes, does anybody know the gay Hardy Boys? It's really trepidatious about it. And Dale turns around. Cole and Dale turn around. And he goes, a woman told me to give this to you.
A woman? What do you mean? You know, and Kermit's like, I mean, she was staying at the hotel. She needed help to get here. And honestly, I'm exhausted. I smell like meat. I've been trying to get her stuff all day. She's very sweet, but she's been painting. I thought she was painting the forest, but she painted this and she knew you guys. So I don't know. There's also something she taped on the back. So I just am really glad I found you. And I never have to say the word gay again. Not in a bad way. I say gay. Say gay. Yes, gay. But maybe not from me. But like I do. I'm going to have to leave now. So anyway, Kermit walks out. Dale looks at this painting. And it's really cute. It's a little watercolor, specific location, which we can figure out later. And Cole's like, oh, that's weird. What, old ladies paid for you now or something? But Dale recognizes this. There's something that kindles in him. He's like, this looks familiar. He has studied this art form, this specific style, ever since he was 12. He knows this like the back of his hand. Even in a different medium, he recognizes this. And when he turns over the painting, he sees a single match taped to the back. Delanoir. Cole goes, oh my God. He's like, fuck, man. I thought we can't just have one fucking date.
Yeah.
And Dale's like, I have to go now. We have to go now. And Cole's like, no, they're about to do the show. And Dale's like, I can't. But she was right there at the woods. How is she here? And then he goes, oh my God, Cole, wait. We're famous. She knows us?
She knows who we are?
She knows who we are?
Oh my God.
I was like, aren't you related?
Yeah.
And Dale's like, but like, what? And there it is. She is real. Delanoir Israel, and she was here. And now she's there. Now
She's
where is
somewhere.
there?
And I think,
Somewhere.
you know what, Dale, he's freaking out, and he realizes Kermit Hastings asked 90 people how to find the gay Hardy Boys. She's long gone by now. So you know what, even though there's a mystery afoot, he's going to tackle it tomorrow once he's digested this kettle corn and had a good night's sleep. And right now, he's going to watch this shitty burlesque show with his boyfriend and watch Barnacle Crispin and Bertha the Couscous have a very uncloaked fight on stage.
Yeah. And it got weird because it was audience participation. No one knew that, but they continued their arguing while they brought a person on stage and did like Magic Mike stuff, you know, which is it's wild. And it's shocking enough to temporarily remove all thoughts of Dylan Noir. Be like, what universe am I in?
That's 2025 Crispy Fest.
Crispy Fest. Eileen, by the way, you're probably wondering what all did she eat. She ate 7 sausages. She had 3 beers. She had a secret mini bottle of vodka with one of the vendors that she went to high school with. They were giggling about that. And then she actually found a funnel cake half eaten.
And then she drunk phone called Eric and accused him of being a werewolf.
Yes. She's going through all the cryptids she can.
She just cannot believe this guy is real.
She can't. I mean, and that's just like, you gotta, you know, you deserve nice things. Now, he's a little more weirdly hesitant on that one. His argument isn't as great.
Yeah,
now.
it's a little suspicious, actually.
It's a little suspicious, so.
Well, thank you, everyone, for joining us at this annual Crispy Fest. I hope we have delivered on some of your favorite characters, bringing them back and tying them all together. If you have any suggestions for what you want to see in the next year of Clatfartburg, you can send us an email at clatfartburg@gmail.com or send us a DM on Instagram at Clatfartburg. We also make a lot of bonus content. There is a huge backlog. We've done like almost 30 commentary tracks, like 10 or 12 bonus episodes. We've done a bonus episode for this podcast every month since we started. So there's 12 Clatfartburg bonus episodes, I believe. Close to that. Close enough. So you can go over to clatfartburg.com if you're interested in that. It's a little membership. It's $5 a month. You can join for a month, listen to what you want to, do what you want. You also buy them a la carte. We just appreciate it, and we like making content for people, and you guys doing that helps us pay our expenses and makes this not a money negative hobby. So we appreciate it. It's very fun.
Very much appreciate it.
Speaking of our membership, we had a new member join this week. It's, a few weeks ago. We recorded in advance. It's complicated. Pragmatic. They left us a very nice message. They said, I always listen to this thing when I'm working on my allotment, and with the planting season upon us, I am now caught up and in need of more content to entertain me while I endlessly turn soil over. Glad that there is now officially at least one suck-ass guy in Clatfartburg. I'm casting my vote for more terrible people in the town. Thank you. We will keep that in mind this year. Also, you jump scared me mentioning York in the Ghost Tour episode. I'm from York, and I never expected people to know of it. Hope you enjoyed the ghosts. Also, I'm doing a Wonka Watch re-listen on the side. Just thought I'd let you know. It was a great series, and you'll never escape it. Sorry.
Well, it was good until the end, wasn't it? That was a nice comment till the end.
Nice comment until you brought that up.
You had to do that, huh?
I know we've said this before, but I just want to say it again. I did not realize how punishing of an experience Wonka Watch was until I got to do a podcast I really liked doing. Because if you asked me doing Wonka Watch, I'd be like, oh my God, I love doing this podcast. That was a lie, and I was wrong. Because now I experience true freedom.
Right. It's
now
it's
I
like,
experience what it's like not to be in
It was
prison.
more like that was our school. That was our school.
It was our school. We
learned so
together,
much.
And now we're allowed
and
to do
we're
this.
glad we got to communicate. Obviously, we're glad we got all of you guys. This is great. We have a fun banter now. But that was a rough... Compared to this, we're like, oh my God, that was so much. Much.
A year of Wonka Watch felt so much longer than a year of
Truly,
Clatfartburg.
that's why we
all I'll
accidentally forgot this was our...
We forgot.
We forgot we'd done it for a year.
Whereas Wonka Watch, we would never have forgotten for a second exactly how long we'd been going.
So. But thank you for joining. I do appreciate you.
And we appreciate having you
Good luck
here.
with your soil.
Yes.
Thank you so much for visiting.
Thank you.
And until next time, strike a match, flip a switch, Del Noir, it's me, that